What's up, everybody? Let's talk about Power, season number 3, episode 10, the finale. In my best interest. Y'all, I don't know how I feel about this episode. It was good, but I was not expecting the very end part. I did kind of toward the end, but I really wasn't. But okay, let's go ahead and get into it. It was so much going on, like I don't even know where to begin or start. So let's just try to start with Greg. Greg, his crazy self. So as we all know, Greg has been trying to pin Dotbox and Ghost to the Lobos murder and the escape of Lobos. So as we all know from last week, Ruiz was wearing a wire. So he's waiting for Ruiz at the pier or whatever, and we all know Ruiz is dead to the bed. So anyway, he gets a call from the local PD to come to the crime scene. So when he gets to the crime scene, he ends up going to look at the body and ends up recovering the wire from off of his clothing. Now keep in mind, in the cut, we see James is in the car looking at the whole scene. So as he's in the car looking at the whole scene, he gets on the phone and calls Dotbox. And he asks Dotbox, is there some type of indictment coming down against either he or Tommy in reference to the Lobos case? Excuse me. In reference to the Lobos case. If Dotbox is like, I haven't heard anything, but if I do, I'll let you know. Okay. So let's move on from there. Greg ends up getting the wire, like I stated, from off the body. Goes to his office, and he's in the process of getting ready to hear the wire in his office. Now, prior to him doing that, he ends up calling Mexican federales and asking them, can they verify if Sandoval provided, I'm sorry, did federale from their office provide Sandoval with a tip about the whereabouts of the location for the meetup between Tommy and Lobos for season number 2. So they say, okay, we'll look into it and get back to you. Now, in the midst of him getting ready to listen to the wire, Black Donovan comes in and digs in his ass and basically tells him, if Ruiz was working off the books for you and ended up dying because he's supposed to be a confidential informant for us on the Lobos case, then that's basically both of our asses. And he tells him basically the only thing that's going to save us is if you got any information that could be used, to be used to close the case. So immediately after that, he gets on the phone, calls his homeboy from the Homeland Security, and asks can he go see him. So let's move on from there. Ghost and Proctor is meeting in his office, and then he's telling Proctor. Ghost is telling Proctor about the wire and about how Tommy ended up killing Ruiz. So Proctor looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, what you talking about? So he breaks it down to him about Ruiz going to the feds. He was wearing a wire, and Tommy ended up killing Ruiz. So Proctor looking at him like, okay, now, if he has the evidence, I'm going to get it excluded. However, if your name is mentioned on any of the wiretap, there's a possibility you're going down for this shit. So he got that stupid look on his face like, what the fuck? I didn't think about that. But prior to that, Ghost tells Proctor that, yeah, he spoke to Angela, and Angela told him that there was no indictment against them. So Proctor looking at him like, nigga, you already know how I feel about that bitch. So I don't know why you trust anything that she says to you. So he further goes on to tell Proctor that they're no longer together. And Proctor tells that motherfucker, you need to send out a group text to everybody about your fuck ups at one time. And I hollered. I was done. Because he read him his rights right then. I was like, yes, to get his ass Proctor. Alright. Miss Dotbox ends up finding out about the death of Ruiz through sex. that morning in the kitchen. That wasn't nothing really big, whatever. That was just information for her to know. So then we see Karen and Ghost in the club, and they're verbally confirming that they will be working together, and that the that tie affair was going to be going down the next day or that same day, whatever. Right after that, we see that Milan and Tommy are talking. And Milan tells Tommy that we're not going to kill Ghost until after he signs the contracts. And after he signs the contracts for the clubs to be in the hotels, then we're going to get rid of him. So then Tommy's looking at him like, okay, well, if we kill him right after that, then who's gonna run the clubs? So basically he puts the bug in Tommy's ear, okay, that Karen wants to fuck Dre basically, and if he's out the picture, Dre can easily move on in. Keep that in mind. Move right on in. That Dre can move in to a Ghost spot to run the clubs. Keep that in mind. Next, we see Ghost is in his cat burglar mode. He is breaking into Greg's apartment looking for this wire. Now keep in mind, when he broke in, he had his gloves on. And he has gloves on all throughout the house. So as he's looking through the house, you know, looking for this wire, I'm looking at my computer screen like, nigga, why would he keep the most important evidence that he has to get Miss Stopbox and you just laying around willy-nilly? Like that didn't make any sense to me. Like, you already know what kind of vendetta old boy has against you and against Stopbox. So why the fuck would he just have that shit laying in his house? So I didn't understand him even thinking that it would be in his house. So as he's in the house looking for the wire, Stopbox comes. So Ghost hides, and she does not find him in the house, and she ends up leaving. Oh, but before she comes in the house, Ghost discovers that Stopbox has been fucking Greg. And he looked like he was hot, but okay, move on. So now on his way out of the window, which is the way he came in, he had his gloves on going out. So on the way to replace the lock back on the window, he removed one of his gloves. And I'm thinking to myself, bruh, you already outside. Just leave that shit there. There's no fingerprints in the house, so he won't even know that you were there. So he just gonna think something's wrong with his lock. Just keep it moving. Like, leave that shit there. And keep it moving. Just, you know, just leave that shit broke and just go ahead and about your business. But what this nigga do? He ends up leaving his fingerprints on the fucking window. And I'm like, okay, this shit's not gonna be good for him. At all. So it just leads me to believe that how can you be so smart and so sloppy all in once? Like, like, nigga, you came in the house with gloves on, but now all of a sudden you want to take off your gloves to leave? Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Okay, let's move on. Now, as Ghost was at Greg's house looking for the wire, Greg is at his homeboy's house, who's the Homeland Security guy. And Homeland Security guy telling Greg, like, bruh, you can't use any other information because it's illegal. It is going to be excluded in court if y'all even go that far. And on top of that, you're going to be in jail for doing this shit illegal. Your damn self. But Greg's so damn far gone. I was starting to think, in this whole episode, Greg was on that damn crack or something. He was on that morphine. He was on something. Cause that nigga was just, like, out of it. Like, he was just completely just gone. He was so focused on trying to get these two motherfuckers that he wasn't even thinking, okay, I did all this shit is going to be for naught because I can't use it. Okay. So it comes across the wire. Basically, Tommy confessing to the murder of Lobos and him killing Ruiz on the wire. So of course, Greg is amped. He think he got something to use. So he decides to go and confront Ghost because Ghost has the most to lose in the whole situation. So okay, he pulls Ghost over on his way to the club. And he basically tried to get Ghost to flip on Angela. But Ghost is a smart motherfucker, and he knows if Greg had anything on him, this wouldn't even have been a conversation. He would have already been back in the car. So in so many words, he tells Greg that, nigga, you ain't got shit on me, and my bitch, aka Thoughtbox, and a murderer. So let's move on. Let's move on. So right after he lets Ghost go, Ghost and Tommy meet up and they're discussing the plan to get rid of Milan. So now it's back Team Tommy, Team Ghost for the time being. So Greg is left standing in the street and he ends up calling Mike for Mike to come over to his house. So when Mike gets to his house, Greg is still amped up. He is still super, thinking he got something or whatever. So he starts explaining to Mike his case, pleading his case about, okay, Angela's the leak. I got some information, but it was outside of the lines how I got it, but I know she's a leak. So of course Mike is always cool. He's always, peeping everything out. He does not show any type of emotion. So he tells Greg start from the beginning. And as he's in the midst of explaining to Mike his theory, the phone rings. So Greg gets his cell phone and pick up the call, whatever. It's the federales calling back from earlier that day. They tell Greg that there has not been a leak. Has not been a tip given to Miguel Sandoval recently because, quote unquote, this agent is dead. It's been dead over a year. So Greg looking like, what the fuck? Excuse me. So, excuse me. So when Greg returns back into the living room with Mike, Mike can tell that, okay, something's not right. His whole demeanor has changed. So when Greg goes into the kitchen to get them some beers, he starts to replay back in his head everything that Mike has said, like throughout season number 2 and season number 3. And then he remembers from last episode that he saw Mike coming out of Hugo's apartment. So baby, I don't even understand why he even divulged this information to Mike, but he did. So Greg basically just come out and tells Mike, okay, you're the leak. So at first Mike was denying it, whatever, saying, no, you're wrong. I went to Hugo's house to try to solve this case. The federales, they are disorganized, whatever. So then he finally comes out and just say, yeah, I had to do it because they were threatening my family. I had no choice. So by this time, they're standing up face to face and they're having this conversation. So Greg is like, So Mike is trying to convince Greg, let's flip on Angela. Let's just pin all this shit on her. And everything is gonna go away once he pin it on her. So for a slight minute, we could see Greg was, actually thinking about that shit. But then he said, no, she's guilty of a lot of things, but on this, she's not guilty. So at that very moment, Mike knew he had to fucking kill this motherfucker. Like, he had to kill his ass. So Greg turns around. It's like, I'm sorry, but I have to turn you in. And I'm thinking to myself, nigga, you really think a motherfucker who basically risked his career, help a fucking Mexican cartel, and in the midst of an escape from a international kingpin, like 5 people got killed, he really gonna get a good deal? I'm like, nigga, like, for real. Okay. So Greg turns around and we see Mike pull out that hammer with the silencer on it. Greg dumbass tried to talk Mike down, and Mike look at him like, yeah, okay, I'm make you think I'm make you think I ain't gonna shoot your ass, but yeah, I'm gonna kill your ass. So he let Greg feel a little comfortable enough for him to step just enough close enough to him, make sure that his shot was on point. Greg took that one extra step towards Mike, and Mike shot that nigga straight in his motherfucking damn artery in his neck. Kill shot. So the blood is just spewing out his neck, and so just to ensure that he dies and he's not getting back up, Mike pulled the trigger again, hit that nigga straight dead in his heart. I was like, yes, bye Greg. I was like, bye Greg, yes. So Mike grabs his motherfucking damn, burner phone that he had, rubbed all his prints off of it and planted it in his house. Took his damn beer with him and walked out the house. So the next morning, Miss Thoughtbox is coming to Greg's house to get her morning dick. And she's walking up to a crime scene. And this retarded bitch is talking about, what happened to Greg? I don't understand. I'm looking like, bitch, he's dead. Like, what the fuck? Like, she irks my fucking nerves, and I hope she fucking dies. Episode number 1 of season number 4. Please kill this bitch immediately. So now she walks up on the crime scene and she finds out that Greg is dead. Okay. Next we see Tasha and Tasha and Ghost having a conversation at the house. And the conversation, Ghost tells Tasha that Tommy ended up killing Ruiz, and he also mentions to Tasha that Tommy has changed and he doesn't think it's for the best, and that he thought everything was kind of somewhat back to normal because he helped him with Holly. And so keep in mind, Tasha has no clue that Holly is dead and that Tommy did it, and that Ghost helped her cover up the body. So she's just thinking in her head that Holly is just, gone, whatever. But she's dead. So she ends up texting Tommy right after that and telling him to come over to the house. They need to talk. So in the meantime, Tommy ends up meeting up with Milan's number 2. And he basically confronts him and is like, how does it feel that Milan is basically treating you like shit and giving me more love than what he's showing you, and you've been down with this nigga since day one, and you've done so much for him and been loyal to a flaw, and I come out of nowhere and he giving me more love than showing me more love than he's showing you. So he's telling him, look, I got a plan that's going to make all of us happy. But you got to trust me and I have to trust you. And if everything goes well, we all going to be in the clear and we all going to make this money. So next we see MJ and her partner come in the office. Come in the conference room where the remaining task force is. So we're talking about Sax, Mike, Thoughtbox, and Black Donovan. So they basically telling them that the investigation has been closed in the Lobos case because we found a phone that was not attached to any other case that he was working on, that Greg was working on, and that it was linked to the burner that had Lobos. So Greg was your leak. But the entire time that MJ was saying this, and the other guy was saying this, I was looking at how they was looking at Thoughtbox. MJ was looking at Thoughtbox like, yeah, bitch, I know you had something to do with this. Like, your new ex-current lover, whatever, all of a sudden is dead right after you start fucking back with him. Like, okay, now all of a sudden he's dead. Like, I know you had something to do with that shit. Like, it don't make no damn sense. So in the conversation, she's telling them about the investigation being dead. She says that whoever killed Greg was probably affiliated with the Lobos people, and that he had to have known his killer because he either let them in or they came through the window. And when she said the window, all of a sudden, bright idea came the thought box. Because she's like, Greg never leaves his window open. Okay. Tommy meets with Tasha. And she's telling Tommy, you know, Ghost can never find out about, I told you what happened. And Tommy's like, don't worry about it. I got it under control. I have a plan. I'm going to get him from underneath. I'm going to get all of us from underneath Milan. Just trust me. And she's looking at him like, both of y'all talking about this damn plan. I don't know how to trust y'all, whatever. And Tommy's pleading with her like, look, everything's going to work out fine. As long as everybody plays their part. As long as Ghost is in the dark, we all play our position, everything's going to go good. So Tasha tells Tommy, you know, Ghost could be a sometime motherfucker. He could be he could be a bastard, but he's still the father of my kids, and I have to fucking protect him, even from himself. Now, on the way out of the door of him leaving the house, Tasha confronts him about the Holly shit. And baby, when I tell you Holly, I'm gonna tell you the mentioning of Holly's name to Tommy made that nigga go into a white boy scary look. Like, that shit even scared Tasha. I was looking like, damn, that nigga look like he about to fucking kill Tasha. Like, Tommy is ice cold now. Like, ever since he killed fucking Holly, like, he is a whole nother person. Straight up. And down. Because he gave her the whole white boy crazy look all in one. And she had to back up herself. Because she know what to expect. Let's talk about motherfucking Tariq ass and motherfucking Chester the Molester, aka Slim, aka Kanan. So Tariq and Slim, I'm sorry, and Kanan are in the car talking, whatever, talking about girls, whatever. And it's before school, I guess before school, after school, whatever, case may be. But I'm thinking to myself, like, when I was a kid, my parents called to make sure I was home, or called that stuff, or beat me, or whatever the case may be. Where the fuck you at? You need to be the fuck home. Like I don't understand how the fuck these kids got so much damn freedom. Like, I don't get this shit at all. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Whatever. So they talking. So they missed the conversation. Kanan gives Tariq this bag. It tells him to run it off to his homeboy on the corner. So, you know, Tariq asks 103 questions. And he's like, what is this? And Kanan just pulled that old switcheroo, you know, Jedi mind trick on his ass. Oh, I thought you knew better than the ass. You ain't ready, yah. So Tariq trying to prove that he hard. Like, no, I'll do it, whatever. So he beats old boy. And they go in a little alleyway. And the boy pulls out these guns. So now the exchange has gone down between Tariq and the boy. So the boy pulls out the handcuffs and basically tells him that he's under arrest. So at this moment, I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. He got this little nigga locked up, right? So he goes to the fucking squad car. And who the fuck in the squad car but fucking Jukebox? And I'm like, oh, it's about to be old and fucking popping. This bitch back in the picture? No ma'am, no sir. So they get in the car. So I figured out what they were trying to do. They were trying to see if the nigga was gonna talk, like if he was really like not gonna say anything. Like they were trying to break him and see how easily he was to break if he was held under pressure. So to all their surprise, he didn't say shit. Not one fucking word to them. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kanan gets in the car, and they all bust out laughing. And the look on Tariq's face was like, oh, fuck, what the hell? He know what the fuck was going on. Okay. So they go to back to the apartment that Kanan has taken over. And Tariq is running his motherfucking mouth, like, telling them about he don't want to never go back home, about he don't care about his family's money, yada yada yada. So when the word money comes up, oh, that piques Jukebox's attention. So she's asking him, okay, well, how much money do you think your old man's worth? What kind of building y'all stay in? And this little nigga telling him, like, okay, well, we got an elevator go to our house, and I don't know how much he worth, a lot, whatever. So Jukebox looking at Kanan like, okay, you didn't tell me this. So they go off in the little cut. Kanan and Jukebox go off in the little cut. And she's like, nigga, you got a rich man's fucking son here. And you ain't doing shit about it? Like, what the fuck? So she'll put the bug in Kanan's ear. Nigga, we gonna ransom this little motherfucker. And we still gonna kill his ass. Like, that's gonna be two birds with one stone with Ghost ass. Flawless victory. But what's funny is we can see that Kanan has taken a little liking to Tariq. So he was kind of fighting, going along with the plan, but he ends up going along with it anyway. So let's move on from there. So Ghost punk pussy ass is still trying to get back with fucking Angela with fucking Thought Box. So during the meeting that MJ was in, telling them that the case was closed against them and that they were all exonerated, Ghost texted her and said that he needed to meet with her. So now they're meeting up at this diner, whatever. And he acting like everything is a-okay between the two of them. So she informs him that the case has been closed between the two of them. I mean, I'm sorry. The Lobos case has been closed, and that she has been exonerated. And he's telling her that, you know, I would do anything to protect you. I love you. Yada yada X Y Z. And she looking at him like, nigga, like. So then it clicks to her like, okay, did he kill Greg for me? And I'm looking like, bitch, fuck. This nigga don't know when to shut the fuck up. But I'm thinking to myself like this right here too. Nigga, like the night before, you just fucked your wife and that bitch made you fucking shake. And you are still trying to get back with this bitch and this hoe gonna be a fucking downfall. Like, I can't with him. Let's move on. So it's the night of the fucking black tie affair. Party is jumping, everything's going good, whatever. Karen and her daddy there. Milan's people are there. And then we see a scene where Dre goes to the back door and lets his little crew for the hood, who was talking about robbing the club, into the back door. And they all suited up in nice suits and everything, looking fresh to death. And he tells them, look, do as planned. Do not get jumpy. There's a lot of white folks in here, and they will fuck around and call 911. Just do the fucking plan. So everybody like, okay, that's cool, we'll do the plan. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, what the fuck is about to go down? So they all in. So everybody's in. I guess everyone is in position for this plan to go down. Okay. Ghost signs the contracts with Karen and the daddy, and he already paid his money. So they're talking about, you know, moving and going to Dubai or whatever the following week, whatever. So after the contract has been signed, here come Milan. I'm sorry. Before that, we see Tasha come in the club and have a little eye contact with Tatiana bitch, who was with Milan. So she walks in, so she's there too. So Milan confronts Ghost. And like we need to talk, and tells him that we need to talk. And Ghost looking at him like, nigga, I ain't got shit to say, and keeps it moving. So they off to the side, whatever, in a little cut. And Milan tells him, we're gonna talk because you're all alone. And and Ghost is like, really? Okay. So this thing we know, we see that Ghost pull out a gun and put it to his fucking side. And then all of a sudden, he tells Milan to look around. And then all we see is all the Dre dudes putting guns to all of Milan's guys across the fucking, across the club, whatever. Baby, but why the fuck was Milan's wife or whatever she is to him was about to come and try to get try to gank Ghost from behind? And who come through? Motherfucking Tasha. Tasha came through and motherfucking Burner was like, bitch, I wish you the fuck would. And she gave Ghost that little smirk like, yeah, I'm here, baby, I got you. So they go and they take Milan back to his warehouse. And he's looking like, well played, well played. So Ghost and Tommy fucked around and shot Milan 4 times, 2 apiece from both of their guns, dead fucking damn face. That nigga was dead to the fucking damn pavement, like just dead. So then they squashed whatever they little beef or whatever, and Ghost is like, okay, it's over with, I'm done. So he walks off, go back to the club, whatever. And Milan number 2 comes up, and like, okay, he's like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of the body. Does Ghost still know that we're running drugs through his club? And Tommy tells him, no, he does not know, but he doesn't need to know. He'll find out soon enough. So I'm thinking to myself, damn, it's all your fault, Ghost. So let's move on. So the night is going good, whatever. Then all of a sudden, we see Angela walk in the club, right? And so Ghost spots this bitch. He leaves the conversation that he's having with Karen and her father and runs down the steps like a little punk pussy bitch he is. And he kisses her in front of everybody on the floor, whatever. And she's like, "You are under arrest for the murder of Greg Knox." And this is the first time he finds out that Greg is dead, because before this, he had no clue that he was dead. Now, how she's connecting him to that murder is because when he left the apartment on the way out, he left his fingerprints on the glass. And she went back to the apartment, lifted his prints, and ran through the system, and that's how he came back as a match. Now, Ghost had the motherfucking stupid, dumb look on his face, like, what are you talking about? Why are you doing this? And she's just like, whatever, man. She puts him in the car, whatever, and tells that motherfucker it's the right decision. And I was dead. I was like, this bitch ain't shit. But I'm thinking to myself, that's what your punk pussy ass bitch nigga ass get. Because, nigga, you left a whole loyal bitch for a snake in the grass hoe. A whole loyal bitch for a snake in the grass hoe. And this the bitch you want to wife up. And this bitch right here fucked around and turned your motherfucking ass in. And then on some shit you had nothing to do with. Like, okay, girl. Now let's move on. Now keep in mind, Tariq done been gone all fucking day. Ain't nobody check on this motherfucker. Like, I'm just so mad with Tasha and Ghost. Like, they don't give a fuck about their damn kids. Like, they can't give a fuck about their damn kids at all. So Tasha comes home and Raina's still up. And she's like, why you still up? Where your brother at? So Raina so this is the first time that Tasha or Ghost, whatever, the parents are finding out that their son is hanging out with a grown ass man. So Raina running down like, okay, well, he's hanging out with his friend Slim. She says that he's a friend with Dad, friend with Dre, used to know Sean, that y'all all grew up together. Now during this time, it clicks to Tasha like, okay, I know what the fuck this is. So she calls Tariq. Tariq is fucked up off the lean. So they don't make the shit stronger to knock his ass out. Because now they're going to ransom his ass. I mean, they're going to hold him for ransom. So she calls the phone. Tariq is almost nodded the fuck out. And so he sees the phone call coming through and he puts the ignore button. But before he does that, he tells them, I think it's time for me to go home. So right after he falls the fuck out, they get his phone and they sent a picture of Kanan with his arm around Tariq looking very pedophile-ish. It sent the picture to Tasha. And right after the picture goes through, sends a text through saying, if you want him back, you're going to have to pay. Tasha looking like, oh my God, what the fuck? So, that's how that shit went off. It was fucking awesome. It was a good episode. It was very good. Now, my whole thing is this right here. For season number 4, I'm trying to figure this shit out right here. I think Ghost is going to get off for that murder. Because, first of all, I'm thinking Dotbox ain't had a motherfucker warrant. Okay, number 1. To get the motherfucker Prince. Number 2, she didn't even think about this shit right here. Bitch, y'all no longer together. Any good attorney, which he has a good attorney, is gonna say you did this shit out of fucking spite because you were fucking with the deceased. You had a key there, and y'all just broke up, and he went back to his wife. So you were mad. You planted that shit on the window and set my client up. That right there is a reasonable doubt. So what you would get off. So I was like, what motive could they even give for him to kill her? For him to kill Greg? Like, there's no motive for him to do that. He went back to his wife. Like, so what? Number 2, I want them to bring in a whole new character, a whole new man for Tasha. Like, I don't even want her and Ghost back together. Like, I want her to help him get out this jam that he's in as far as beating this case. But after that shit, I want her to be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm good, because not only did you fuck around, start a whole new life with a bitch, still married to me, the whole fucked around and arrested your ass. Like, okay, right after you fucked me, and then right after I just showed you the same fucking night that I got your fucking back, and you still trying to wife this bitch. Okay, nigga, you want her? Have her. Now, I want to know how they're gonna get Tariq back, because it's gonna have to go through some street shit. And I really think that because Ghost is gonna be locked up, because this is fair time. I think Tommy and Tasha gonna have to link up to get Tariq back, along with Dre. They're gonna have to link up to get Tariq back. I want Tasha to kill Angela, or one of them kids to kill Angela. I also think Raina, the little girl, I think she's gonna be a wild card for next year. Like, she hasn't had that many scenes this season, but I think next year she gonna be a fucking wild card, a wild factor in everything. Also, I think while Ghost is locked up, Dre is gonna be the new Ghost. And I also think Tommy and Ghost are going to have to go at it, because in his quest to be free of the drug game, he's going to have to cut all ties with Tommy, because Tommy is still trying to run drugs through his clubs, and he can't have that if he's trying to go clean. So I think they're going to have to go blow for blow with that. Yeah, it was just a really good episode, but I'm glad that fucking I'm glad fucking Ghost got locked the fuck up behind his bitch, because I don't understand how dumb can you be, like, on some real shit. Like, seriously. Anyway, I talked enough. My dog's over here making noise. Anyway, if y'all have any predictions for next season, drop them down below. We can talk about it and get it popping in the comment section. Again, follow me on Twitter at Nikki Live, Nikki Live #1 on Twitter. And if you have any relationship questions, email me at LiveTalkWithNikki@gmail. Again, LiveTalkWithNikki@gmail. So people, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.